All right, there we go. Hi, everybody. It's Tim Gillard in the CBC Counseling Office for another in our series of video visits this year. And today we have Mitch Arnett from Miami of Ohio. Miami of Ohio, Oxford. Is it Oxford, Ohio, I believe?
Oxford, Ohio.
Yeah,
Yep.
Oxford, Ohio. Great college town we might touch on here today. But Mitch has joined us today to just give us an idea, help us. Miami of Ohio is definitely a school that every year we have students interested in applying. Every year we send a student or two there. And so we have a great relationship with Miami of Ohio, and we're real thankful to you, Mitch, for joining us today.
hmm
Maybe you could start by just giving us kind of the overview a little bit about Miami of
Sure.
Ohio.
Yeah, of course. Well, thank you so much for having me and including me in the presentations. So, like Tim said, my name is Mitch Arnett, and I'm one of the senior assistant directors here at Miami. I graduated from Miami in 2009, and I've been on staff for almost 10 years, and I've been working with students and families from the St. Louis area for about 6 of those years. So, of course, I am representing Miami University. Miami is a public liberal arts school, so we do not have a religious affiliation with us. And a lot of times people hear that word liberal arts, but they may not know exactly what it means.
Yeah.
It really does come down to the style of instruction. So a lot of our students will have double majors, they'll have majors and minors. No matter what students' majors are, they are required to fulfill certain graduation requirements. So we do require our students to take English courses, science courses, math, humanities, creative arts, and we also require all of our students to complete a senior capstone. And the senior capstone is done the senior year, and it usually involves a major project or a thesis. So with that liberal arts focus, we do believe in experiential learning. So applying what you're learning inside the classroom to everyday experiences, and our students have a lot of those opportunities from doing research and doing internships, which I'll talk about here in a little bit.
Yeah.
So Miami was founded in 1809, and a lot of people wonder why in the world we're called Miami. So we are named after the Miami tribe who inhabited the area prior to our establishment. So I think just commonly people refer to us as Miami, Ohio, but it is Miami University. It just so happens that a man from Ohio grew up in the Miami Valley and moved to Florida to sell real estate. So he brought down the name Miami to Southern Florida.
Oh, so you're the original Miami.
We're the original Miami. Yep, we were there much longer than the city of Miami. So we are located about 5.5 hours east of St. Louis. You would just hop on I-70 and then go through Indy. And then once you hit Richmond, Indiana, it's kind of some back roads from there. Beautiful campus. It's a residential campus. We do require our students to live on campus the first 2 years of study. We don't have any buildings higher than 3 stories. So it kind of, makes that culture more of a quintessential college experience versus being in an urban area. Oxford itself is a rural city. So there are about 9,000 citizens that live in Oxford. And then when the students come, we have about 17,000 undergraduate students and roughly 2,500 graduate students. So we would consider ourselves to maybe be medium, maybe large size, kind of maybe there in the middle. And we do focus our teaching at the undergraduate level. So we don't have any med students on campus. We don't have any law students. This is primarily an undergraduate focus. And then I'll segue and talk about some of the majors. Is that good? Or
yeah, that would be great.
Okay.
That was to be my next question. So go for it, please.
Okay. Yeah. So we have about 120 majors. We also have 90 minors. It's very possible for students to double major or have a major and a minor. It just kind of depends on what they're interested in doing. So if students are interested in mechanical engineering and theater, those are very different. So it's going to be a lot more difficult for students to double major in those fields. But it's very popular for students to do mechanical engineering and manufacturing engineering, or perhaps marketing and accountancy, because the subjects are a little bit more closely related. We're most known for our business majors, science majors, social sciences, and then also nursing. So those are probably what students tend to think about when Miami comes up on the radar. But yeah, we also have education, we have creative arts. So we have a lot of options here for our students, and I think that's a big draw for students, is that we have a lot of options, yet we're not a really, really big school. So you kind of get the best of both worlds in that sense. We're also pretty well known for our study abroad programs. Roughly half of Miami students decide to study abroad before they graduate. Pre-COVID, we do have students that go to roughly 90 countries. So it's really all across the globe.
Wow.
Yeah, first semester junior year is probably the most common time to go abroad, but students can do a 2-week winter term, or they can go over the summertime if they didn't want to leave for the full semester. I also like to share that we have our own campus in Luxembourg. So Luxembourg came to us as its campus away from Oxford in 1968, and roughly 130 students will decide to do our Luxembourg program. And that is open to all Miami students, and you pay the same Miami tuition and fees and all your scholarship supplies. So it's a pretty well-known program through Miami, very popular with our students. And then I'll segue and talk a little bit about research. We do have roughly 2,000 students doing undergraduate research at any given time. I'd also like to note that we have the first year research experience for our students, or FYRE. And with FYRE, students take a 1 credit hour course, both first semester and then also second semester, and then engage in their research during that full year, first full year at Miami. So it's pretty, as a first year student, yeah. So it's pretty exciting to know that that students can get active in research from day one. Versus some of the institutions you might have to wait until you're an upper class student. While of course we do have research experiences for upper class students, just know that we also have the opportunity for them to get plugged in right away.
And maybe just talk for a minute on why that's an important thing. Why is that a good thing? How does that affect an experience for a student to keep their eyes and ears open for research opportunities, especially as a young college student?
Yeah, of course. I think it really helps students. It encourages them to think outside the box. So it's beyond just the paper, studying, taking quizzes and exams, writing papers. It's really actually putting it all to practice. So we believe that if students have these experiences, they're going to be more successful with preparing for their internships and then also their full-time jobs or graduate work. So if students are looking to go on to med school someday, these are really key features that students can talk about during their interviews to med school. So whereas a student at Miami who did undergraduate research for 4 years would more likely stand out to the medical schools versus a student who didn't do any research at all. So having those experiences can only benefit the students. So definitely keep that in mind when students are looking at colleges. New programs at Miami. We have a new robotics major coming to Miami this fall, which is pretty exciting. We also have a new commercial real estate license coming to Miami this semester, so I'm sure that will draw a lot of attention. Just note that it's not residential, so it's a commercial real estate license, but I did want to mention those 2 programs that are new.
Neat.
We also have several honors opportunities for students. So we have the Honors College, and there are some perks with the Honors College. It is a residential experience, so students are required to live in the Honors College housing the first year only, and then their second year of study. All students live on campus the first 2 years, but the Honors College students have the option to live in general housing their sophomore year if they would like. Honors College students also get priority registration for classes. They're also required to complete 8 additional honors experiences prior to graduating. And these experiences can be met by taking honors classes, studying abroad, doing internships. So they're required to take 8 of those, and it's very common for students to take the honors sections of the courses. That way they're smaller in size. So they're going to be taught more seminar style versus the large lecture halls. So the average classroom size at Miami is about 30, by the way. And then for the Honors College students, that's even smaller, yeah.
That's wonderful. That's something that our guys could be interested in. Is that part of the regular application process that they say, yes, I'd like to be considered for the Honors College? And then also, speaking of the application process, do you use the common application, or are students applying directly to you or by some other means?
Yeah, good question. So the first piece of the question, on the common application, we're going to ask students, are you interested in applying to the Honors College? And then students will just check the box yes, and then we will provide them with the additional essay. So it's an additional application and additional essay. So it kind of walks them through the process to indicate that they would like to be considered for that. We also have 2 additional honors programs, including Prodesse. Prodesse is spelled Prodesse, and it's a Latin term that means to benefit. This is a new program for fall 2021. Think of the Honors College as a little bit more broad in scope. so enhancing the overall academic experience at Miami, whereas Prodessa is going to be specialized in a certain cohort or a themed environment. So Prodessa is very engaging with research, getting to know faculty a little bit better within those cohorts. Another benefit with Prodessa is that there's an additional $2,000 scholarship per year that's stackable on top of other scholarships. So the Honors College doesn't have a scholarship associated with it, but students in the Honors College typically get the general larger scholarship package. And I'll talk about that here in a little bit. The third honors program that we have is Presidential Fellows, and Presidential Fellows is our premier scholarship program. So it covers tuition, fees, room, and board up to 4 years. And it also includes a one-time $5,000 stipend that students can use for anything academic related. We do have enough funding for about 15 students for Presidential Fellows. So as you imagine, it's very competitive. Students are able to be a part of 1, 2, or even all 3 of these programs. And it's the same application, same essay. So the students just check the boxes of which ones they want to apply to. New initiatives for Miami, we are going to continue renovating our residence halls. So right now we're about 75% renovated or new construction at Miami. All of our residence halls have air conditioning, heat, which is pretty exciting. We're also in the process of building a new student health services building, which will include the Department of Nursing. So the nursing school will be in that brand new building, expected to roll out here in the next year or 2. The Equestrian Center is undergoing a rehab as well to update that facility. And then Tim, you also asked what types of students would be attracted to Miami.
Yeah.
So I jotted down a few notes here, some things that kind of come to mind. So of course, students, very similar to CBC, students are very academically talented. You know, they're driven with their academics. They're very inquisitive. They love learning. They love applying what they're learning inside the classroom, outside the classroom, kind of going back to that experiential learning. Our students are very interested in double majoring and or minoring. So students are kind of going above and beyond what students might do at our peer institutions. They also are very interested in doing a blend of individual work through their studies. So maybe just writing a paper on their own, but they're also expected to partake in group work. So kind of that nice liberal arts focus again. And also our students are very active. So they're very active in their social organizations. At Miami, we do have over 600 student organizations on our campus. So they're very active outside their studies as well. They're coming to Miami to look for that full college experience. And I also would like to note that we don't have a lot of students that go back to their hometowns every weekend. This is more of a residential experience. So students coming from 5.5 hours away in St. Louis, we just want you all to know that they would be staying on campus even through the weekends.
Yeah, that's great. And then what is Oxford like? And then also, what about, you mentioned, students coming from St. Louis. Do you draw from the whole country? Do you draw internationally at all? What is diversity like on campus?
Yeah, sure. So Oxford is a small town. So the campus itself sits in the shape of a rectangle. It's about 2,000 acres. And then just adjacent to the campus is the walkable town of Oxford. So students don't really need to have a car at Miami at all, really. So they can go uptown, as we call it uptown, where they can go to some of the local shops and restaurants. Even in the town of Oxford, we don't have any buildings or restaurants above 4 stories. So it's not an urban area. It's more of a quaint college town. We have Chipotle, Starbucks, some of those chain restaurants and so forth. Yeah. But we also have a lot of really local, neat local coffee shops and restaurants that give Miami a really neat college town flair. Mm-hmm. So the uptown area is very popular with the Miami students. And then also uptown has off-campus student housing. And of course, that's not Miami affiliated, but a lot of students who want to live off campus just live still in walking distance to the town. And then beyond that would be probably the local citizens, maybe teachers, professors. And Oxford truly does revolve around Miami. In fact, Miami was there before Oxford even existed. So a lot of people who live in Oxford are connected to Miami in some way. Now, in regard to diversity, we have about 48% men, 52% women, 15% are first-generation students. We represent all 50 states and DC in our current student body. Mostly are from the Midwest. So Ohio includes 60% of our students. We get a huge draw from St. Louis, Chicagoland, Michigan, Pennsylvania. We also get a lot of new East Coast folks, so like Long Island, Connecticut, Jersey. California is very popular as well. So they really are coming from all over. Over 100 countries, 2.3% of our students are international. And then of our international student population, 44% of those are from China. So 16% of our domestic non-international students are multicultural. So 16% non-white. And then you asked to explain the application process a little bit more.
That'd be great, really.
Yeah, we are on the Common Application, so that's the only way that you can apply for admission. There are just over 900 colleges that are part of the Common Application. We do require a $50 application fee, high school transcript, 1 letter of reference from either a counselor or a teacher, and then the essay is automatically built into the Common App. So we don't have any additional essay beyond just the Common App, except for students who are applying to the honors programs. We're also test optional. So students have the decision if they would like to submit the ACT or SAT. That's for fall 2021 and for fall 2022. We recently announced that. So if students are satisfied with their test scores, by all means, you can submit them, but they're not required to. The Common App will go live August 1st, but we do not have any deadlines published yet. So check back this summer to see when the deadlines are going to be. And that's one of the biggest pieces of advice that I have is just pay attention to all the deadlines, because colleges, as you know, they all have different deadlines and different application types and all that. So.
Always, we as counselors always appreciate those reminders for the students. Keep an eye on those deadlines and make sure you apply earlier in the game. There's never really a downside to applying earlier in the game.
Absolutely. And then scholarships.
Well, yeah, sure.
Yeah, so we have an automatic scholarship grid that we publish every year. We haven't published it for fall 2022 just yet, but check back this summer to see what that grid looks like. It sort of has parameters where you can see GPA, kind of a range that you would get. So definitely check into that later. We also have a Bridges program, and Bridges is our outreach program for diversity or students who are interested in learning about diversity. The application will go live this summer. And then it's usually due late September. And I believe in the past, the scholarship has gone up to $6,000, and that's stackable on top of other scholarships. And it's an on-campus visit program, so students would spend the night on campus. We also have the Pro-Essay program. I kind of talked about that already with the $2,000 scholarship, and then Presidential Fellows is the full ride. FAFSA, it's the free application for federal student aid. It's not required. It's completely independent of the scholarships. So students can get a scholarship without even completing the FAFSA. The FAFSA only includes the need-based aid, which are the grants, loans, and federal work study. Tips for first-year students and sophomores, pay attention to the deadlines and visit campus. We do have on-campus visits happening right now. All of our visits are posted through the end of summer. So hopefully we'll see some of your faces on our campus. And then lastly, I have my contact information. Again, my name is Mitch Arnett, and my email address is Mitch, M-I-T-C-H, period, A-R-N-E-T-T, at miamioh.edu. And my direct phone number is 513-529-4891. Right.
Wow, Mitch, that was fantastic. I mean, in the amount of time you just let go of a lot of information for our students, that's sure is very, very helpful, and we sure do appreciate that. I don't even need to repeat the contact info. We have it there. If you have any questions about Miami of Ohio students, you're welcome to come on up and ask us, and anything we can't answer, we're going to send you right to Mitch for some more clarification.
Sounds good.
Yeah, so we really appreciate it, Mitch, very much, and we really love when our students have some interest in Miami University, and we look forward to working with you here over the next couple of years at least.
Likewise, sounds good. Thanks again, Tim, and good luck to all the CBC students in their college searches. Take care.
Thanks, Mitch.
Yep, bye.